Hi everybody, welcome to Push Your Luck Video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at Fool's Gold. Now Fool's Gold is a 2015 release by Passport Game Studios and is designed by Joshua Belvin. Fool's Gold is also, you can see the box art is really very nice. The artist is Ian O'Toole. He also did quite a few different art for games like Lisboa and The Gallerist, which was just recently released by Kickstarter, and also Stockpile. So Fool's Gold, it is a 3 to 5 player game where players are miners and they are going to 5 different locations and trying to get gold and gems. But they have to be careful though, because if they do not manage to get a goal from every one of the 5 locations, they'll get penalty points. If they do not manage to, if which location they have the most gold from, and that location will be Fool's Gold, and they have to discard all the goal they got from that particular location. So players need to carefully manage where they are going. They need to be everywhere at least once, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most points will win the game. So this is about 60 minutes to 90 minutes, but I think it should play less than 60 minutes, or about 60 minutes, at most 60 minutes. Alright, so let's take a look at the game components, and I'll also run through how to play the game, and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, so this is the board of Fool's Gold. Now as you can see, the artwork from the box art also carried on towards the entire game. All the artwork looks very nice. It has that very authentic like 60s maybe or 1800s look and feel. Even the rule book, you can see there's some purposely done weathering here and there, and it looks really nice. Nice fonts, it's a very well done rulebook as well. It's very clear. There's quite a lot of examples, very clear what you need to do. Of course, the game itself is not too difficult to play and learn, so that helps a lot as well. But I really like the artwork. I think Ian O'Toole has done amazing artwork for the entire game itself. The components are also very good. The card stock is pretty good. It's quite thick, not super thick, but it's thick enough that it should weather a few games of the game without breaking down. Each of the card also has very nice artwork as well, similar to what you find in the rest of the game. So there are 3 different types of cards, 4 different types of cards in each of the deck. And you have the normal gold. Alright, these are the normal gold cards. There's a silk cards. Oh, sorry, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of cards. Sorry, you have a silk card which is useless. You have gem cards as well. So each location, there's 5 different locations on the board. Each location will also have its own type of gem cards. And then you have the foul weather cards. Alright, these are bad. Alright, they limit the number of things that you can choose from, limit the number of options you can choose from. False alarm cards will take all the good stuff that you have gotten so far from that mine, and you need to shuffle them again and potentially discard one of them away. Alright, so I'll explain all this later on when we explain how to play the game. Alright, each player will also have his own miner meeple. Alright, so it's also quite a good quality, quite nice. It has a very interesting matte looking finish, which is quite cool. There's also the pickaxe. This is the start player marker. It's very interesting, big start player marker, and also very thematic and nicely done. And also you have all these little dice. Alright, these are the dice for the mines. Now the interesting thing about these dice is that you only roll them at the start of each round, and then after you don't use them as the dice they are supposed to be. So that's kind of interesting. The dice are a smaller size than the normal dice, but they're very good to look at. Very nice colors. You have also 1 winter dice. Alright, I'll explain all these things later on. So yeah, all in all, great game components, and I really love the game components. It draws you in. One of my friends who played this was very drawn to the game just by looking at it, and he was willing to give it a try. Alright, okay, so let's go to and you also, one more thing I forgot, you also get cardboard coins as money. Alright, these are money. Alright, so how do you play the game? Each player will first get a player shield. This is a player shield. Alright, it tells you what color you are. At the back of the player shield, it also gives you the different mines, the breakdowns that they have. So for example, you can see that in the lake there are 3 5 gold cards inside there. and there's a number of all of them have the same number of silt, gems, same number of foul weather, and same number of false alarm cards. Right, it's just that the goal breakdown is slightly different. They also tell you the different actions that are available. So in each game, there's 2 phases. All right. So this is what actions you can do in the first phase, which is the prospecting phase. These are the actions you can do in the second phase, which is the mining phase. All right. The game lasts 5 rounds. All right. So you can see that they actually go through like 18 each year. So it's like 1849 to 1853. Alright, so last 5 rounds. Then at the end of 5 rounds, they'll do an end game resolution, and then whoever has the most points will win the game. So how do you play the game? Each player, again, as I mentioned, each player will have this player shield. Then depending on the number of players, for example, for 4 players, you have 3 miners to start off with. You put them behind your shield. You also start with 6 coins, which you put also behind your shield. Now choose a starting player, and then the player will roll all these dice. Alright, so you roll all these dice, and then you put them together. Now, the thing you need to do now is to sort the dice by the numbers and place them in the respective areas. So for example, there's a 1 here, I put them where the dice is. Then I will sort the rest. So 3, I'll put at the 3. 6s, you leave in the middle. Right, 5, so you put 1 5 here, 1 5 here. 4, you put 1 4 here, 1 4 there, and you put a 3 there. And that will be done at the start of every round. Let me move up a bit so you can see better. Alright, so that's done at the start of every round. Now we're starting with start player. The player will now decide what he wants to do. Alright, the first thing you can do is you can place a worker, miner, right, from behind your screen onto a spot in the mine, alright, that has a dice. Alright, that means it's available. Which means that if right now if I cannot put any miners here because it's not yet available. Alright. So if I do that, you can see that if I place there's a dice there to indicate that you must place it at a mine where there's a dice available. But you can place it on any slot on the track. So for example, in the hills, alright, there will be I can put my mine in anywhere from 6 all the way to 1. Just to take note that I did not put the cards for the lake and river and mountains because my table is pretty small, and if I do put that, the board might tip over, so I apologize for that. Don't be confused about that. So you can see that the number that you place the worker on, you need to pay them out money. So you put the money from behind and put in front. Now take note that money is never lost. Alright, money, you can think of money as the action points that you have. Alright, it's like a pool of action points that you have, and at the end of every year, you actually get 1 more. Alright, 1 more money. And also 1 more worker. Alright, so think of money as action points they have. But I think they use money so that it's a bit more thematic than saying action points. Alright. The next thing you can do, so you just choose 1 out of 4 actions, and then the next player takes his turn, next player takes his turn, so on and so forth until all players have passed. The next thing you can do, you take a 6 dice. So you see sometimes you roll 6, which are right in the middle of the table. You take a 6 dice and you can place it anywhere you want or any mine. Now, you will need to pay coin, alright, equals to the number of existing dice that's already there. So if I place it at a spot where there's nothing, or let's say I place it here for example, on the 2, I'll pay nothing. If I place it at a 1, alright, I need to pay 2 coins. That means I just move 2 coins from behind all the way to in front. So again, when I say pay, you're actually moving coins from behind, put in front of your shield. They don't actually go into the bank. Alright, you always get your coin back at the end of the round. Okay, the next thing you can do, you can put 1 worker from behind your screen to the front of the screen and take back 3 coins. So this is when you are running out of money, you have already overspent too much money, and so you need to take back some coins so that you can still use it for your future worker and still be in the game in a way. The last thing you do is pass. So when you pass, you will take all whatever remaining meeples that you have from behind your screen, and you can place them at any of the mines. Now, when I do the first action, which is placing my miner on one of those spaces, I'll be placing it face up, like standing up like so. When I pass, I can put my remaining miners at any mine, but I place them lying down like so. Alright, you can place them anywhere you want, you can split them up to you. Alright, I'll explain what all this does later on. So that's it. When you're done, you pass, you take back all your coins and your meeples from in front of the screen and put it behind your screen. And that's it. That's your turn. So once everybody has passed, we'll move on to the mining phase. Alright. Now at the start of mining phase, each player is supposed to take each of the deck in front of them and shuffle them. So but I always do that at the start of every round. So it's up to you when you want to do it. I don't see it matter that much at all. So it's up to you. I do it at the start of every round so it's easier. Or at the start of every round we just go through the process of shuffling all the decks again. Or you can do it at the end of every mine that's processed, you can just shuffle it again after the winter dice has been rolled. Alright, so I explain all that. So now what happens in the mining phase? So in the mining phase, you go through each of the deck. Alright, you starting with the number 1. Alright, then you go to number 2, number 3, number 4, and 5. So starting with number 1, you will first count how many miners there are multiplied by the number of dice there are. So for example, let's say I'm doing this. Alright, so there's 3 standing miner. You don't count the one that's lying down. So 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. So what happens is you'll take the card. This will be shuffled at the beginning. So let's do a riffle shuffle. Alright, so 9 cards. Alright, so you show 9 cards, and as you draw them, you split them up in the right category so that it's easier for you to sort them later. So 1, 2, so it's a silk I put aside, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I met a foul weather. So what happens is foul weather, you can see you draw 1 less card. So instead of 9 cards, I now only can draw a total of 8 cards, including the foul weather card. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so now I've drawn my by right 9 cards, but because of foul weather, now 8 cards. So what happens is that starting, whoever has the most number of miners at that location will get the first picks or first dips on the stuff that they found. Right, you can ignore the silk card, you don't get the silk cards. Alright, so what happens is you will check. Now, actually we are all tied here in terms of numbers, but because I have a sleeping miner here, I actually have majority in terms of numbers of miners there at the location. So blue will get to choose first. So what can blue do in the mining phase? Blue can either take 1 gold card or a gem card and then remove the worker. Or blue can choose not to take anything and take 2 coins and remove the worker. Or the blue worker can decide to sleep at the location, and then when winter comes, something else will happen. So I'll explain what the winter dice does later on. So for example, in this case, blue will remove the worker and take the 3 gold, because why not? 3 gold is always good. All these gold actually count as points at the end of the game. Money do not count for anything at the end of the game, but all the gold and the gems count for points at the end of the game. So let's say I take this away. So who's next in priority? Now that yellow and purple are tied, the purple will be in priority because purple will now be in front. Alright, that's why purple will now have priority in choosing. That's why sometimes you may want to pay more money to go in front because you want priority. So let's say purple decides to take the 2. Alright, then purple removes the miner away. So now yellow, maybe yellow does not want the 1 gold, so yellow will sleep for winter. Alright, so once every of the miners have been resolved, now you roll a dice. So whoever's remaining behind, whoever's last in priority will get to roll the dice. Doesn't really matter who rolls the dice in our case, I feel. Anybody can just roll dice because after all, unless you believe that your hand is luckier than the other people's hand, the kind of thing, but it's up to you. So anyone can roll a dice. So in the rules, whoever is the lowest priority will roll the dice. So you just roll this winter dice, alright, 3, which will determine the number of cards you can then draw from the deck. So you don't need to put all this back immediately. You can if you want to, but you don't need to put them all back immediately. And you draw 3 cards from the top again. So 1, you resolve as per normal. So that means I only have another card left. So 2. Alright, so now yellow can choose from these 2 cards. Of course, you cannot get the foul weather card, so obviously yellow will take the 3 gold. So in this case, by staying true to the winter, yellow actually actually pushed his luck and managed to get a good deal, which is the 3 gold. And that's it. So that is for this mine. You take all the cards and you just put them into the deck. Now it doesn't matter where you put them into the deck right now because the mine has been resolved, and anyway you're going to be shuffling the whole deck again at the start of every round or the start of every mining phase. Alright, and then you do this for all the mines, and then when you're all done, players will make sure they take back all the miners from the board, including those that have been sleeping, pass the start player marker to the left. Alright, and then each player will now start the next era. So next era, they'll take all the workers they have here. That means you'll gain 1 more worker and gain 1 more coin. And then they'll start another round. And that's it. So at the end of all 5 rounds, we'll determine who the winner is. Now the winner determination is interesting, as I mentioned. First, you will lay out all the cards that you have gotten from each of the mines. So for example, let's say in this case, as an example, I will do this. Maybe I'll do this. Okay, so assuming that I only managed to something cut out from the box. Alright, so assuming that I've gotten like this. Where are the gems? Alright. So assuming that I went to only 3 locations, alright, which is very bad. Now what happens is that the other locations, the other 2 locations which I did not get any cards at all, I'll have negative 5 points each, so negative 10 points in total. Then I will see which location I have the highest number of gold. So for my hills, I have 8, forest 1, mountain 4, which means that my hills gold are considered fool's gold, so they are returned to the deck as well. So my end net result is 1 plus 4, which is 5. But then I'll have negative 10, alright? So my end result points is negative 5. So this is not a very good example, but it's just to show you how the endgame scoring is like. Now for the gems though, if you manage to get 1 gem, alright, it's 1 point. If you get 2 different gems, 3 points. 3 different gems, 6 points. Let me focus. 4 different gems, 10 points. 5 different gems, 15 points. Right, so getting gems is also another way of scoring points as well. So yeah, so that's how you play the game, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will win the game. Alright, so let's go to my thoughts about Fool's Gold. So what do I think of Fool's Gold? I think it's a pretty interesting game. It is, I would say it's a light to medium weight game, more lightweight than medium weight. It's easy to learn. It's not difficult to learn. It's easy to play. But to be good at it, it requires a lot of monitoring of what your opponents are doing. If you're playing with 5 players, for example, I think it'd be quite tricky to remember, okay, did he go there? Did he go there? What does he need? And so on and so forth. So more often than not, you probably will start to only manage your own stack of cards and then try to minimize the losses that you have. So you're trying to go to every location and stuff like that. The thing about putting the 6 dice on the mine, it is, I don't know how effective it is, because like you want to open up, or you want to increase the odds of you getting more stuff, so you put a dice there. Let's say you use the dice to open up a location which was previously unavailable because there's no dice there. Now what happens is that suddenly every other player will jump in on the bandwagon. So you put it, let's say you open up the lake, for example, then everybody will start jumping in, and they'll still pay very minimal number of coins because the initial few steps of dice is very cheap. It's like 0, 1, and 3. But if you then by the time it comes back to you, for example, then you're actually paying a premium to go into the area where you open up. So that's kind of I'm not sure how that is. But we still use it though, even though we know that it's like we are at a disadvantage when we're doing it, but we still used it. But more often than not, people use it to increase the area where they are already at, to also increase the number of cards they can get. The components are good. It's really awesome to look at a game that looks so good. One of the other games that I played recently that looks really good is like Dark Moon from Stronghold Games as well. It looks really good, and I really appreciate when graphic designers and artists put in this effort to make the game feel so thematic and looks really good. Even the meeples that they use are like the minor meeples. They don't use the standard meeples that they have. So it's much appreciated. Everything fits nicely. The dice will fit into the boxes nicely. The cards also fit nicely. So I mean, Passport Games Game Studio could have come up with a very simple board. You can play the whole thing using cards, for example. But they spend the effort to put it on a board, so it's really cool to see that. All in all, I would say that if you want something that's lightweight, medium weight game, do check this out. There is a lot of thinking involved because you are wondering, you're always torn between, okay, I must go to every mine at least once to get a card, or else I have a negative 5 points. The negative 5 points is really, really painful. And then after that, you like, okay, so now I've been to every mine, I've gotten my cards. I need to make sure that all the rest of at least one of the other mines will be close to the one of my locations that has the most number of goals, so that I can still get enough goal to win the game. So the location where you have the most number of goal is like, it becomes like a benchmark for you. All right, so you know that you definitely lose this amount of goal, but at least if you increase the benchmark higher, then the rest of the mines, or at least one other mine who has enough goal to almost reach the benchmark will still score you points. Getting the gems is also interesting because by itself is 1 point, but if you have 5 of it, it becomes 15 points, which is like 3 points per card. So, but I have some friends who are playing it who are not sure whether getting gems is good. But because when you get gems, you can sometimes forfeit getting a good gold card. But at the same time, you may not want the gold card because it might bust you, as in cause you to lose a lot of cards from that particular mine, right? But maybe through several more plays later on, we may find that actually just getting the gold is better than getting the gems. So we'll see. So yeah, so all in all, I would say that this is try before you buy. It is a bit light for me, all right, personally, but I can still see that I can still bring it to the table and play it with less experienced players, and they'll still be able to enjoy it. They'll be sucked into the team as well. So this is Fool's Gold. Thanks to Passport Game Studio for this review copy, and thank you for watching.